In the previous episode, we enjoyed a action-packed Lake District, but in this episode, we punch east into the Yorkshire Dales.
Hiya folks, so we're on our way to the Yorkshire Dales in North Yorkshire, obviously, and we've decided to have a look at a cave system on the way to where we're heading today. This one in particular is called Yorkshire Cave. Now, Yorkshire being a Norse/Viking name means earth river. Now if you can listen very carefully, you can hear the river actually flowing inside there. So we've got a GoPro, we've got some good lighting, we're going to go in there, we're going to check it out. It is wet, so if you do come up here, if you're a walker, make sure you wear some boots. But in my particular attire, I'm here in flip-flops, which is probably not the most ideal. However, I know I'm going to get my feet wet, so I don't want to get my boots wet. So join us as we go into the cave.
Well, the first thing you're going to be greeted with is this almighty cold rush of air coming out of here. And you can already see the haze, if you can't see that on camera. We definitely hear the water flowing. Now this is a natural cave, not man-made, like the other ones we've visited before. So this should be really interesting. Now we're into a large cavern. Lights on. Okay. Now the ground is slightly muddy, so just be careful, watch your footing. This is spectacular. Wow. This is incredible. We're in a huge cavern right now. You can probably hear the echo. All the drips from the ceiling. All the cobblestones and pebbles. You can see, obviously, they've been eroded over the years, how rounded they are. So there's a lot of water that flows through here. And one thing that's very important about this cave, if there's a lot of rainfall in the area, be very careful because this area will flood and will come underwater. But over the past few days or week or so, it's been very, very dry. So we can already see the water flowing through here, and you can probably hear the water running right now. This is absolutely beautiful. There's nothing better than seeing something in its natural formation. So we've got a couple of small little areas we can squeeze through. And you can definitely hear some rushing water here. You can see all this calcium building up over all these hundreds of years. And the formations are something to behold. All those drips from the ceiling. Absolutely incredible. The water is absolutely crystal clear. And very cold. I mean, look at these rocks. These rocks over here, these little formations in the rock, that is from water droplets falling on that and eroding that rock away over time. You can see all that where the water's been running down and dropping onto these rocks. It's incredible. Oh, wow. the waterfall. There's two. There's all that there. The noise in here is so loud in this water. Absolutely incredible. You can actually walk in here. The formations are unbelievable. The water's cold, but not extremely cold. Beautiful. Yeah. So you sure you can climb in there? Hold that a second. I'm gonna jump in here. This is spectacular. You can see the water. Al, you can walk around through that little thing. There's a waterfall all the way up there. And the height of this is incredible. Wow. The water seems to be disappearing behind there. There's a way into this cavern. You can either climb through that hole, or you can walk around here and then back out again. And while you're in here, you can see the formations are just all these little nooks and crannies everywhere. Absolutely beautiful. All these hundreds of thousands of years where all the water's eroded the rock. The formations are beautiful. And you can see that calcium on that rock up there. Beautiful. And then we're back into the main cavern here. This is beautiful. Wow.
Went higher. Looks like there's like an edge to the end of it.
That's how high that goes. That's just keeps going up. Height is incredible. That's cool, eh?
Yeah.
So this is Yorkshire Cave, guys. Be sure to come and check this place out. And just get a taste of the spectacular geological formation that is just, it's mind-blowing being in here. How beautiful this place is and just incredible. Yeah, so some of these are calcium formations. I think that's just normal. You can see all that calcium on that, where the water's running down there. You can see all this buildup of calcium. You can see all the water droplets in front of the camera. It's quite wet over here. Got a little bit of a run. I can barely look up. I've got all that water in my face. I've got quite a little bit of a trickle of water up there. Coming down that ceiling pillar, but you can see that whole ceiling area is all beautiful and smooth. It's almost like someone's plastered this. This cave is beautiful. Oh, seems to be a little hole or cavern down there. Not something I'm interested in going through, I'll be perfectly honest with you. Ah, there seems to be a little hole in there. So the waterfall area. And now the water, you can actually start seeing where the water disappears in the rocks and then it picks up again. This goes for ages.
That's just that height.
Yeah, you can hear more water down there. So there's another cabin in here. Might just peek around this corner. There's a cabin here on the left. Yeah, a cabin on the left here where people can come in, stand up. And anything like this, guys, you always got to be very careful. Make sure you got someone with you. Don't do anything like this alone, because anything bad happens, you can understand the consequences behind that. But do your research if you are going to come caving and having a look at some of these places. Be very careful and mindful of what you're doing and what you're getting yourself into. Just use your common sense. It's always easy to let your curiosity run wild and you just want to go deeper and deeper in the cave. You just got to make sure, know where your limits are. Just going to have a peek down here quick. I'm going to take you guys a little further, so I'm on my hands and knees here on the rocks. Wow, that is a perfectly square rock. Little rectangle. Look at that. Little memento I'll take home. So it seems to get open up a little bit here. And I think this is where I'm gonna, basically you can hear the water running down here into an underground little river. And I think this is where it ends, in this little cabin here. Wow. So yeah, so right in here. Now you can imagine if there's a lot of rainfall in this area, this whole area will be flooded. So you've got to be very, very careful when coming in here. And that opens up into another cavern up there. All these beautiful formations you can see, and there it goes. That's where all that water runs to. You've got another cavern here on the left. And again, goes in there. You can see all this wood been stuck over the years from all the rivers, and you can see where all the grass is. This is where it's get trapped, so you can see the water actually gets right up into these top areas. This whole area will be flooded, so you've got to be very, very careful. We'll make our way out of the cave. What an experience! I'll tell you what, this really gets your senses going. Exploring like this. Hands and knees here. You can see Alfie obviously is into the main cabin there. Now that was awesome. Now just be careful when you stand up. Wow. Beautiful. Yorkshire Cave. I think that's the other cavern.
How soft this is.
Yeah, it's like clay.
Wow. It's literally on the floor.
There's another cavern in there.
Yeah, it's all dry though.
Is it? Right. Quite muddy in here.
Yeah.
All these little holes and... Ooh, this is a different one. So this opens right up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. think this is the one I saw from down there. Yeah, this is the one I saw from down there. This is incredible. And you've got a drop. You have to be very careful. That's kind of where I walk under. And then we're in a cabin just to the left of that. All the sparkle up there. Wow. One way to get your adrenaline pumping. Look at that sparkle on that rock. See the sparkle on the rock there?
Holy shit.
See it?
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Ah, crazy. Looks magical.
Oh yeah.
Whew. So there seems to be people actually, companies that come here and climb. You can see these are the climbing points. So they take, obviously, the youngsters or the people through here, either climb up or climb down. So beautiful formations. Wow.
It's amazing. Shake it out.
Wow. I don't know, I'm a bit speechless. Just how crazy this is. But you can imagine all the water gushing through here when there's like heavy rain, and how flooded this will be.
It's like proper sunny and out and like dry, and you still see that waterfall.
Yeah.
Like imagine that rain.
Yeah, so you can, that force of that water just flowing through there, it'll just be crazy, man. And back out in the main cabin. Off he's making his way out there. But just have a look at that mist coming in from that opening there. And if you guys can see that. Really peaty around here. It's all the water from all the roots and stuff. Makes this water really brown. And look at Alfie's feet. They look brown in the water. He might even tan. You can just see this formation in the rocks, how it's been eroded over the years, and how the water's actually cut through this area. So you can just imagine the sheer volume of water that flows through here with heavy rainfall.
Especially how deep that is.
Yeah, so it's about waist deep down there. You probably can't see that. It's quite awesome. Let's take them back that way. Just how beautiful formations are. It's one of the reasons why we've opted to use this type of footwork. Is you got to be careful because it is slippery in places, but at least you can get your feet wet and not worrying about getting your boots soaked. So you just got to be pretty careful. Really pretty formations. Now you can just see where Alpha's coming through there, how the water's physically carved this whole area out. Looks very similar, these type of formations in that Yorkshire cave we've just experienced. It's natural, all beautifully natural. Unspoilt, bit of nature. Tucked away here in Yorkshire, beautiful location. I tell you what, the Yorkshire Dales does not fail to impress. Just the natural beauty of the landscape and the water formations and how the river has been carving through this rock over the years. We'll actually take you along the journey, yeah? Very slippery. Take your time as you come through, yeah? If you ever do. But just look at that, how the water's carved everything away. This is something special. It opens up here. I don't know if you can hear that. That water crashing. Into a plunge pool. And where I'm walking here, you can see where the water's physically eroded this whole area, along with these little sections. And then straight into a beautiful plunge pool, which is pretty deep. You'd probably be able to jump off here safely. And then this goes on all the way down to where we were earlier, but it goes even deeper. So there's a massive gorge down here. How this water's just carved this all the way. It's something very special. Hi there folks, we've got an absolute cracker for you this time. This is the coast to coast casserole. Now this, you can either have beef or chicken. In this particular one we're going to be using chicken. Now I'm sure you can imagine after full days of activities, depending on what you're doing, either four-wheel driving, you're out on the water kayaking, or walking the hills in the Lake District, or in Wales, you come back and I'm sure you're really hungry for a nice hearty meal, and this is exactly what this is. So after an action-packed day, this is one way to top your day off. And it's a very simple dish, it's very easy, and you can basically just put everything into your pot and basically broth it all up like in a nice big potion. Really, really nice hearty meal. It gives you the opportunity to get your food on the go, enjoy some time around with family and friends around the fire, and get that broth brewing, cooking, making sure everybody's tummies are rumbling for a good hour before you sink your teeth into it. So very, very simple. So we've got chicken drumsticks, we've got some vegetables, we've got spices, we've got chicken broth, we've got baby potatoes, and then we've got some plain flour. We just want to get that broth nice and thickened up halfway through the process. So all we're going to do now is prepare all the vegetables,
chuck that in your Dutch oven. All your pots, if you've got a camper van, get that all stuff in there, in your chicken, get that all brewing up really nicely, and it's a good hour and a half to get that all nice and soft and delicious, and something you will definitely enjoy with your friends and your family. So let's get straight into it. For starters, let's get these potatoes sorted. Just up a nice decent cutting blade. Baby potatoes, very simple, just chop them in half and they go straight in the pot. Nice and simple. And totally depending on how many people you're cooking for, or depending on how much chicken and vegetables you use. But always remember, whatever's left over can be eaten either in the morning or the very next day for lunch. So it's always a nice dish to add and cook while you're camping. And it's quite easy, especially nowadays, to camp, and then it's quite easy to pop to the shop and you've always got things that are ready made. But it's always really nice to really go the extra mile and cook something really hearty on a camping trip, because most of the times, especially here in the UK, it's always sort of damp and wet, and if you've had a difficult day, there's nothing better than a nice meal like this to raise those spirits and get that morale back up. So you can add carrots and broccoli. So we've got parsnips this time. Chuck some broccoli in there. You can bring the frozen stuff with you if you want. But it's always, if you're on the road and you're on the move, it's always nice to shop locally. I mean, there's so many farms around here, all advertising really nice fresh vegetables and produce. It's always nice to support the farmers. They do give us a lot. They do help us so much. It's always nice to give something back, you know. We have the amazing opportunity to enjoy their wonderful site here, and it's always nice to be able to support them in any way that we can. And always remember that any of your vegetables, just be very careful with your knives. I'm not trying to teach you guys to suck eggs here, but it's a very simple and easy way to cause yourself some injury if you're not careful with your cutting utensils. So get yourself a decent sharp knife. It's nothing worse than trying to prepare food with a blunt knife, and that's when accidents happen. So just be very careful. I'm sure most of you guys who have prepared food like this, especially parsnips, they're tough little buggers to cut, so be somewhat careful with them. So a sharp knife is always best. There you go, it's coming together really nicely here. We're going to chuck the rest of this broccoli, nothing goes to waste here. Get that all in there. And always take your rubbish with you, especially when you're camping. It's always great to leave no trace, especially if you're wild camping, you're enjoying the countryside. Nothing better than wild camping and really being a part of nature. But always remember, first and foremost, leave no trace. So we've got chicken, spices here, we've got salt and pepper. Get that salted back up. We've got some garlic. We'll get some garlic in there as well. Get a really nice hearty meal. Get your peppers in there as well. Okay, what we're going to do is crack the chicken broth. Now you can get this from the local stores, Spars, Tesco's, Asda's, all that kind of stuff, but all we're using is chicken drumsticks. So all I'm going to do now is just spice my chicken drumsticks up. So anything that annoys me about some of these spices they go hard from time to time. So plenty of spices, and as the chicken broth thickens during the cooking process, you can just obviously taste it and you can go from there. So get your chicken straight in there. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of food there, which is really nice. So that will definitely last us. So just get this mixed up. Make sure all the food, especially the chicken, needs to be submerged in your broth. Get that in there nicely. And a lot of the time these chicken broths, they have vegetables in their cans, which is quite nice. Give you a little bit more flavour. And then all you've got to do now is just top that up with water. And as the cooking process happens, all that water is going to evaporate, so just keep a close eye on that. You don't want to be cooking or drying your meal out, so keep a very watchful eye over your food, because there's nothing worse than trying to cook your meal go. Now we've got a good amount of food in there, and this is going to be absolutely cracking later. So halfway through the process, don't forget, we want to add some plain flour, get that all mixed in. Everything's going to be beautiful and soft. So we want to get this on the fire as soon as we can, because it's going to be a long wait before we can sink our teeth into this, and then we will show you when it's all done. Now the big reveal. Here we go, coast to coast casserole. Everything is beautiful and soft. You want to get that off the heat now. You thicken that sauce, add that flour, the broth, everything's beautifully thick. All the potatoes are lovely and soft. And the chicken is literally falling off the bone, and it's exactly what we want. Finished, served.
Well folks, the Yorkshire Dales definitely didn't disappoint in the adventure department, and it's definitely something you want to tick off that old bucket list. But for now, we punch even further east and enjoy the Yorkshire moors and cook up an amazing storm of awesome food.